radical religious leaders suggesting violence as Texas pastor calls for gay people to be shot. Queer News Tonight has reported numerous times on the hateful sermons of Pastor Jonathan Shelley of the Stedfast Baptist Church in Hurst, Texas. Now in a sermon, he calls, and I quote, "Why we don't shut up." Pastor Dillon Awes of that same church has called for the execution of LGBTQ plus community. In his 67-minute rage about how people are trying to stop them from speaking the true word of God, he spoke about how we didn't care if people called the FBI or the IRS, and that because God will protect them as they speak out against the Sodomites, as he quotes. He continues by saying, what does God say is the answer, is the solution for the homosexual in 2022. Here in the New Testament, in the book of Romans, they're worthy of death. Every single homosexual in our country should be charged with a crime. The abomination of homosexuality that they have, they should be convicted in a lawful trial. They should be sentenced to death. They should be lined up against a wall and shot in the back of the head. Wow.
Thoughts?
For you to be in a place of God and to be someone who is supposed to be spreading love and righteousness, to have so much hatred things and to have that behind the word, it's just baffling, and it's just beyond.
Well, first, it's not a place of God, it's a strip mall. It's a strip mall church. Hence, where I promise you. But
I'm sorry, did you say 7-Eleven?
Did you say stripping?
Yes. But also, he is calling for his followers to exact justice. He says they should be, charged in a crime, but and tried in a court of law. But that's just his legal cover, so that when someone else goes out there and does this, that he can't be charged with inciting violence, because he just called for them to be arrested. No, he is calling for people to line people up and shoot them in the back of the head. I just hope that this is pulled from social media at some point.
Right. It is so vile that there's just little that I want to say, except that going back to the previous story about being on guard and being prepared at Pride, this is the worst case scenario.
The worst.
Wow. And there is absolutely zero, there's less than zero about him and what he's preaching that is Christ-like.
Absolutely.
Period in the story. And I believe this is what happens when the extreme internalized homophobia is at play. Because he looked gay to me.
Yeah, he's battling
full on
internally,
gay, and he needs to get a Postmates bottom meal.
Oh dear. I hope you watch that, Jonathan. We've reported on Jonathan Shelley and Dillon Awes many times. They say outrageously silly and stupid and ignorant things, and we frequently laugh at you. This time you went beyond, and the reason this time you went beyond is the timing of when you said it in Pride Month and in these days that we have just been through, because I personally have been through a process where I heard this same language. The word of God is the justification of my sword. That's what was said at 2:02 a.m. on June 12th, 2016. And he killed 49 people and injured 50 others with the same exact justification. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ